Well, hi there. We are in San Antonio, Texas, and we are just here for the night. We're passing through on our way to Fort Jones for part of the week, but we're here at um, San Antonio and got a nice little setup here, and just gonna camp out for the night. But all is good. So. Tomorrow we drive about another 300 miles to Fort Jones and then just continue westward from there. Well, good morning. Today is Tuesday, and what is it, like the 8th of February, I think? Any rate, no, yeah, I think it's the 8th of February. Any rate, really have enjoyed the stay overnight here at Tejas Valley RV Park here west of San Antonio. Definitely is a place that we would stay again. They do have a small dog park here, which is nice, so I'll be able to get Remi off leash, and not quite far enough, not long enough that I can throw the ball, but we'll throw it a little bit so that she gets a little stimulation, and then we're going to head out for our next stop, which is Fort Jones in Texas. From there, I'm going to go see Big Bend National Park next weekend. But yeah, we're enjoying this and hitting the road, but enjoying the life. A little bit of rain today, but that's okay. Never hurt anybody. Hope you're doing well and stay safe out there. Well, welcome to Fort Stockton, Texas. And coming up on the left here, you'll see a yellow and black sign that is for the Fort Stockton Resort and RV Park, as well as also storage facility. You can store your RVs out here, but there's the yellow and black sign, Fort Stockton Resort and RV Park. And you'll see in a moment that, yeah, the resort thing, not so much. But they have a lot of covered spaces, which actually that's a neat alternative when you're out here in the middle of Texas in the summertime. I'm sure it's nice to have these covered spots. So if you want to consider that part of the resort aspect, then yes, I would agree. They do have laundry facilities here. They've got a nice club room that's rather sparse, but it's got lots of picnic tables in it. So if you want to have a group get together in the club room, you can definitely do that. So it's definitely got some attractiveness to it. It's just not what a lot of people would think of as a resort, because the parking spaces are sand and gravel road base that makes up the RV spots. The water is pretty low in pressure and volume, much lower than what you typically experience. But the electrical is solid and the sewer is seems to work well. And I'm actually in the area that he said I could take Remi at to let her run. She seems more interested in sniffing than she does running around, but that's okay. Oh, and then it looks like we got the correctional facility over there, because I see guard houses and two-sided barbed wire and all that sort of good razor wire stuff, so that's kind of interesting. Hopefully I don't have anybody coming knocking at the door in the middle of the night. There she goes. It's nice to have a place where I can bring her out and she can get a little ball chasing in, because she loves to do that. Good girl, Remi. Good girl. Good girl. That's my Remi right there. Can you drop it? Can you drop it, baby girl? Can't be done already. That was only the second throw. Come on, sweetheart. Remi, come here. Drop it. Drop it. Good girl. Good girl. Good, drop it. Good girl. Good girl. You ready? Ready? Well, it is Sunday, the 13th of March, 2022, and we've been staying in the town of Fort Stockton for the last 5 days or so. And I thought we would take the opportunity to come out and check out Fort Stockton here in the town of Fort Stockton, which also happens to be the county seat for the county that we're in. And so let's go take a look. And this is apparently the kitchen. So there's still a few buildings remaining out here. So we'll go see what we can see. And here's one of the barracks buildings. And there's another barracks building over there. And this barracks building is also the visitor center, but it is closed on Sunday. And like many of the forts that we've seen on this trip, they have this large parade ground / tent area. And then we've got Officers Row over there. Those are 3 buildings that are, yeah, 3 homes, I guess now, but maybe they're buildings. But they were former officers' quarters for here at Fort Stockton. And then we've got this building over here that we're going to go check out next. So this is the guardhouse, which is probably indicative from the iron door there. At least it allows a little bit of ventilation. And you can see some gaps up there, which is also, I guess, supposed to help with ventilation. But boy, I bet this is brutal in the summertime. So this is a look inside this guardhouse. The jail here. And there's a couple of areas that were probably former cells here in the guardhouse. So here we are checking out the officers' quarters here at Fort Stockton. And these 3 buildings are originals. There's actually 8 of these buildings, and as you can see, there's kind of a pile of rubble there, and that there used to be a building there, but these 3 have been preserved, and very nice that they saved these historical buildings. So here's another perspective on the enlisted man's barracks, or the enlisted man's barracks, or drafted man's barracks. Very cool to come check this out. There's the old guardhouse. So since it's Sunday, the exhibits are all closed, but here's a look inside the barracks here at Fort Stockton. Looked much like Fort Davis. And here's the second of the 2 kitchens out here at Fort Stockton. Unfortunately, not able to see inside like we were able to at another fort earlier in this trip. Here's a look inside the visitor center that was formerly a barracks building. And you know, wish I could have been here yesterday to have checked it out, but it just is what it is. Glad I came and checked it out at least today, though. Well, not that it matters, because the pressure was sucked here anyway, but I got lazy last night. I didn't bring the hose in. It got down to 17 this morning, and the hose froze. So fortunately, I have plenty of water on board, and so I was able to get my shower, and we'll be able to do dishes and stuff this morning. But I really need to pay attention to the weather report and think about it and say, hey, Eric, if you don't want the hose frozen, get out there and put it away. So I'll have to remember that, and I need to be better about that. But that's okay. Like I said, I had plenty of water on board. Remi and I are going to Big Bend National Park today, and also Davis Fort, or Fort Davis. So it's going to be a good day, and we're going to enjoy it. Let's go take a look and see if Eric's bottles in the Jeep froze or not. Okay, well, we're going to take a look in the Jeep here. Well, they didn't freeze, or if they did, nope, they didn't freeze. Yay! Because I really didn't want a mess to clean up today. And I've got water for Remi today when we go out on our expedition, or exploration, whatever it's called. An exploration today. So stay tuned. Well, we are getting ready to enter Big Bend National Park here in South Texas. It's where the state of Texas and the country of Mexico meet. One of the places. And so let's go for a ride and check it out. And we are approaching the ranger station here at the 385 entrance to Big Bend National Park. It's kind of a sparse setup, but we'll see if this is a visitor's area or something further on down the road. So there is this little visitor's center here, but it doesn't open for about another 15 minutes. There is a main visitor's center that is about a half an hour out, so we're gonna go check that out and see what we can see. But yeah, we're here in Big Bend, and used my National Parks Pass again, which was very cool. So glad that ranger at the first national park I went to suggested it to me. So yeah, making the most of that money. Well, out here at Big Bend National Park, and just kind of took a gravel wide spot in the road to just kind of take a moment to appreciate all this out here. So glad that I'm having the opportunity to check out all these national parks. It's unfortunate that my trip is coming to an end early, and I'm not getting a chance to see as many as I might have liked, but I'm sure enjoying the hell out of what I'm getting a chance to see. So on the way to the main visitors center at Paisano, I just saw this view and I thought this was unique geologically. You can see all the different shaping of the mountain and the canyon and the valley that's around here. Actually, the town in here is called Panther Junction. I didn't realize that. I thought it was Paisano, but it's Panther Junction. And I'm gonna put some gasoline on board, although I'm sure it's really expensive. Haven't seen much in the way of gas stations out here, so yeah, we need to make sure that we're able to get back to camp without any problems. But for right now, we're gonna check out the visitor center. Clearly, it's a lot cheaper to have gotten gas at the visitor center, which is 2 hours south of the interstate, as opposed to this gas station where it was a whole lot more expensive. So here we are at Panther Junction. I guess the birds figured out I wasn't going to give them any food, so they flew off. But it's just wonderful to experience all of this out here. Truly enjoying this. Right now we're here at Panther Junction, Remi and I. And people are packing up, getting ready to go out for a hike today, so Remi and I are going to do a little walking around and checking it out. And Remi and I are out on another one of our hikes, and she's leading the way. I don't think Remi's had any experience with cactus in the past, and these are kind of cool. You got a purple tint. I'm used to seeing the green ones over there, but the ones with the purple tint, those are unusual. There's a lot of cactus out here. Remi, you're such a good dog. She's so patient. This is different than our last hike, huh, baby girl? We were hiking the Sam Houston National Forest. Not this time. This is the Panther Path. I'm really enjoying getting out and doing this today. So as we're making our way towards our next stop of Dog Canyon, I saw this, and I just thought that the striations and the colorations of the rocks were really interesting. Well, even though it says no dogs on Dog Canyon Trail, I'm not going to take Remi, but I am going to walk out a little ways and check it out. Fortunately, it's only about 58 right now. Also, there's a sign that says no UAV operations, so can't put the drone up. But if you look closely at that canyon ahead, you can kind of see how it's jagged, probably kind of like a dog leg. That's a better view of the canyon there. And it's very pretty. Just nice to come out and enjoy nature a little bit. So we've arrived at Fort Davis National Historical Site, so we're going to go check that out. Well, we're here at Fort Davis, and gonna check this out today. So this is an Apache Shelter, or a replica of an Apache Shelter, built with willow sticks and cedar branches. And you can see inside of it a fire ring. Remi's checking it out. And there's a number of officers' quarters there on the back side. And of course, a lot of tents were out in that main parade ground field looking area. And then over here, we have remnants of other buildings that did not survive and or were not restored. But there's a lot of the facility that is still here. And they're getting ready to do a firearms demonstration. So this building and this row of buildings here are enlisted men's barracks. And these have been either salvaged or restored. And so we're going to check out what's down beyond it. There's some more footprints for other enlisted men's barracks, but those buildings are gone.
West and to establish towns and communities. In 1854, the troops that were founded this fort would have been infantry.
Go ahead.
The 8th U.S. Infantry. And these soldiers, the first to make their experience felt on the frontier against the tribes closest in proximity to us, the Mescalero Apache, and off the edge of the Comancheria, the rangeland and homeland of the Comanche in Kiowa. Now these infantry soldiers come from a different world entirely as far as their understanding, and in particular as far as their warfare, a very poor understanding of what modern warfare looked like on the frontier against Apache leaders who didn't graduate at West Point, who have no desire to participate in the warfare that these soldiers have been trained in.
So this deck is obviously old. You can see there's square nails.
Next order would be to draw right.
So they have a number of displays in here in the enlisted man's quarters showing tents back in the day. There's even a wagon with a Gatling gun mounted on the front of it. Or I'm sorry, that's a cannon, or a cannon trolley with a Gatling gun. Though I'm not a huge firearms fan, I do find it interesting that we have what's referred to as a howitzer back in 1841. The 12-pound mountain howitzer, which is probably a 12-pound cannonball that goes in there. Pretty funny. And here's what an enlisted man's barracks looked like. I'm actually surprised that they've got as much space as they do. So these are officers' quarters, and those bricks on there, the red clay bricks, are 8 inches high, 12 inches deep, and 24 inches long, and they weigh 38 pounds each. And they're used to build not only the officers' quarters, but also the enlisted man's barracks, which are over there. So let's walk through and take a look. Nice little display in here of what the officers' quarters looks like. Including a stereoscope. This would be the foyer that I'm actually walking in. Very cool. Very fascinating. So now, we've got various implements. And then out the back side of the building, there is the base hospital. We'll go take a look at that in a minute. And there's even an old sewing machine. Now, we're on the back side of the officers' quarters. And for instance, this was the kitchen. The building's no longer there, but the footprint is, the foundation is. And then there was another enlisted man's barracks that was behind the officers' quarters. This is the commanding officer's stables. It's on the back side of where the officers' quarters are here in Fort Davis. And behind the commanding officer's stables is the base hospital, which is our next stop. And here we are approaching the post hospital. It's a nice day out today. It's about 58 degrees out, so a little chilly, but very enjoyable. Yesterday they said it was about 30 out here, so but it's Saturday. Yesterday was Friday. I had to work yesterday, so it wouldn't have mattered. I wouldn't have been out here anyway. But very, very nice. Now let's get a closer look. If you check out my blog, you'll see that there's several signs like this talking about patients that were treated. And so you'll be able to see the chronology of these if you look at my blog. Here is the dispensary, where they dispensed medicines of all different types. I didn't see this at the other fort that I was at earlier in Texas, but very interesting. Very clean and well organized, actually. There's a treatment example here. I guess that's a early day cast sort of setup. That's pretty interesting. In the doctor's office, he had his microscope there. Pretty dark in there, hard to see. And this is what one of the medical wards looks like. Typically, the soldiers were treated and sent back to their barracks to recuperate, unless they were really sick or injured. And then they came in here. And this is what scared the hell out of me as I walked past this, was this guy in the wheelchair. I was like, whoa! Very neat to see this, though. This is very cool. We're now on the back side of the hospital, the post hospital, and the wood shop, officers' quarters back there in the back. They kind of just built stuff wherever they needed it, whenever they needed it. Cistern footing. So, very fascinating. If you ever have the chance to come here, definitely check it out. You look at all this, and it's truly fascinating. All the rock formations that are around the fort. It's truly beautiful. So I asked the question of a park ranger, because I'm sure there's those that might watch this video that would wonder. But none of these buildings have been rebuilt from the ground up. All they do is redo the roofs and the porches. So it's fascinating that these buildings survived. Park Service took over in the 1960s, so it sat about 70 years unmaintained. And so those two enlisted man's barracks, as well as all these officers' quarters, stayed unmaintained for 70 years. And they put new roofs on them, and they were able to salvage them. So it's very cool. Well, I've finished walking around here at Fort Davis, and it is very fascinating. If you do ever find yourself in the Fort Stockton area or traveling on the I-10 between El Paso and San Antonio, take the side trip. It's probably about 40 miles south of the I-10 before you get into Fort Stockton if you're going eastbound, or after you've left Fort Stockton if you're going westbound. But it's very much worthwhile to come and check this out. Again, get your National Park Pass, because you can use it here. Save yourself the 25 bucks. I've been to probably 5 or 6 national parks on this trip, and definitely paid for that annual pass. So, but come down, check it out. You won't regret it. It's very much worthwhile to visit, and have safe travels. Tomorrow is just going to be kind of getting a few motorhome issues taken care of, and then we're going to head to Las Cruces, New Mexico on Monday. So safe travels, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.